probably get in contact with Kenny to see if he might know anything about it.
Yeah, I put a call to Kenny yesterday, and I haven't heard back from him. Real concerned about our brother, James. I'm hoping that, because he was in ICU from what I read. So, I'm hoping that he got out of that into a regular room and he's on his way to a speedy recovery. What about you, Mo?
But, also today marks the 9-year anniversary of the passing of Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero. Hell of a talent.
Wow. Right, okay.
No, sir. I haven't heard anything at all. It's been relatively quiet on this end.
Well, all right. Joe?
Joe, are you still with us?
Nope. That's not.
Joe had to go.
I guess he had to go.
All right. So we hoping Kamala a speedy recovery. So we are really deep into this whole bullying thing. We're gonna have the fundraiser December 21st. Tomorrow we are going to meet with one of the high schools out here in Indiana to set up the time of march. We're actually going to go into one of the schools out here in Indiana, Roosevelt. Matter of fact, and Roosevelt happens to be the alma mater of the Jackson 5. That is their school, where they actually went to high school. Michael, Tito, Jermaine, all of them went to Roosevelt, from what I understand. I believe so. We got to meet up there. It's a historic building. I mean, when you walk through the hall, you can hear Thriller almost playing in the hallway in your head. So, it's
very cool
to go there.
So let me ask you guys: are you guys excited about New England Fan Fest? My goodness, I'm almost tempted to ask you guys to pack me in your suitcase and take my big ass down there with you.
Oh my Jesus!
It sounds like it's going to be a great time, and I'm happy for you guys. You guys deserve it.
Okay.
It was fantastic last time.
You guys have a great relationship with Joe. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting a message that the guys from BS Wrestling Report are on the line right now. We want to welcome them coming in.
Okay, let me just make sure for a fact that that's him. I think that is. So he's the only one on the line. So, hello, you're on the air.
What's going on?
Steve?
It's Steve and Brian.
How you doing?
Steve and Brian, what's up, man?
How you guys doing tonight?
We are doing fantastic. You have walked into the fire as we start this segment called Raw. Did they just throw this one together? And Brian and Steve, before you talk, we're going to get Dreamy Mimi's opinion. You saw Raw this week. What did you think?
Well, in my opinion, all of the Raws as of late have been thrown together. This one seems like the theme was interference. A lot of the matches ended in a count out or disqualification. Even if someone won, they won because someone else was interfering, even if the ref didn't notice it. So that was a lot that was going on this week on Raw.
What do you think, guys? Is she right?
Yeah, this was Raw. I mean, WWE. They've had a weird setup lately over the last couple months. You never know what's going to happen, if anything's going to make any sense. They have a storyline start, they have a storyline end in the same night. They have something start, and they never have it end. You never know what's going to happen.
Yep.
I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. Yeah, it seemed like this week was just thrown together. They just kind of put names in a hat and had a wrestling match. Where you at, Steve?
You know what? You said this week was thrown together, but personally, if you ask me, I think not just this week was thrown together. The last 7 months really have been thrown together. For me, it's been kind of painful to watch, really, because it's insulting my intelligence as a human being. Like last night on our show, we had Justin LaBar of Chair Shot Reality on, and we talked about a possible Survivor Series match versus Adam Rose and the Bunny. I mean, come on, I'm a 34-year-old grown man. I don't want to dedicate my precious time to seeing that. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah, you were just talking about that, Dreamy. Adam Rose and the Bunny.
Exactly.
Is that what? I mean, is this what it's come down to?
Really?
I don't know, man. I mean, Adam Rose and the Bunny don't sound no worse than Four Clowns. I mean, let's keep it real. I mean, a bunny, Four Clowns. I mean, what's the difference?
Yeah, well, the difference is you had Four Clowns, but you had a bunch of solid stuff going on. You don't have a bunny when you got a whole bunch of other nonsense going on. You got a bull midget and hornswoggle and this, that. I mean, it's just like going to a freak show, it's not a circus. This is supposed to be wrestling. Now, the difference is you had a novelty match back then, but you had a bunch of other stuff going on that made a whole bunch more sense. Now nothing makes sense. So in the midst of that, you're gonna do some nonsense like this. I mean, guys. I mean, what it's referring to is the 4 Doink match that we had back in 1994. Now, Byron and Steven, you guys aware of that match? Did you guys see that?
Absolutely.
Okay, what was the difference between doing that then and what they're doing now? That's his question.
20 years ago, you could get away with it. Nowadays, with the internet, look at what we're doing right now over the internet. Stuff like that, it's totally, in my opinion, made something like that unacceptable. And just from my vantage point, I was, 13, 14 then, so I kind of found humor in it. So I can relate to that now with this Adam Rose Bunny crap. It's just crap.
Right.
Well, I think that looking back, you guys were everybody that were dressed up like clowns were actually wrestlers, working wrestlers. The Bunny is supposed to be a staple in Adam Rose's entourage. Not an actual wrestler. So no, this doesn't make sense.
Two words.
I don't want to see it.
2 words. Gobbledygooker.
Yeah, that was
No.
terrible now.
Wow. Oh.
No disrespect to Hector Guerrero or nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, that was hit deep, didn't it?
That was yeah.
All right, so
We've been given so much reality. We've been given so much reality on everything else, and we have to suspend reality on so much other parts of wrestling that they got to give us more of a believable storyline as we suspend our reality. So as we suspend our reality in the aspect of these guys are really pounding each other's heads in, we have to also suspend the reality now that there's a guy dressed up like a rabbit. That's kind of the difference, right? So it just kind of how far are you going to stretch it?
all right, so Dreamy, this question starts with you. We're gonna go on a round table with everybody.
All right, cool.
What does this do? What does WWE do to turn all this around, to make wrestling make sense again? As a fan, dear, in your opinion, what would you like to see? What do they have to do to turn all this around? Because it looks like a sinking ship right now.
Well, my opinion, what they have to do is to slowly start to separate themselves from. They have like an identity crisis. So you have Monday Night Raw, you have SmackDown, you have Main Event. They're mixing, like, Triple H is coming out and using harsher language, not completely cursing, but harsher language. And then you've got, Hornswoggle and the kind of gimmicky matches with Torito and whatnot. So these matches, you've got to separate yourself. So maybe they start to separate the shows and make one more of a child-friendly, kid-oriented show, make one more of an adult show, and slowly cross over those shows, and then they can grow from there. Kind of separate Raw into being more of the PG show, if you will, and then maybe make SmackDown and Main Event more of your child-friendly Saturday morning wrestling, if you will.
Yeah, okay.
Now, my take on it is you gotta cut Raw back to 2 hours. It's just too much fluff and not enough stuff. They have to shove in there. What do they have? 18 segments to fill? Jeez, crow. That is a lot of TV time. So therefore, if you only have 2 hours to, give the people, you would almost force yourselves to push a better product to keep those people tuned in. I honestly feel like Vince and his company think they can do whatever they want, and the people will keep coming back. It's gonna turn against them eventually. My patience, like I've been a let's see, I'm 34. I've been a wrestling fan since I could remember. You know, my dad took me to see Hogan versus Andre. I was there for Hogan versus Taker. You know, many events. But now it could be across the street for free, and I'd have a very hard time getting off my couch to go see it.
Wow.
You know, that has been a consensus of every wrestling expert that we've talked to. To cut Raw back down from 3 hours to 2, but the arrogance is just so blatant that it just seems like they can't do that. Maybe, would you like to watch a 2-hour Raw instead of a 3-hour one? I mean, as a fan, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree with the 2-hour show as opposed to the 3 hours, because all they're doing is throwing in stuff to make up the last hour, and it's like nobody wants to see that. Give us 2 hours of quality.
You know, back in 1993-94, Raw was 1 hour, and during that 1 hour, you had a really good program given for the time. The way it's expanded now is just ridiculous. Yeah, same question, Mo. Mo, what do they got to do to turn this thing around? Because if they don't, it's like the people are going to stop watching.
Well, you know what, man? I agree with the 2 hour, going to a 2 hour format. I agree with getting rid of the bunny rabbit and getting rid of the midget bull. I agree with getting rid of that whole little fiasco. I also think that what you do is you got the top guys that you build your angles with. I think what you do with some of your mid-card guys and some of your lower-level guys, just to build them up, you put them on Raw, just enhancement talent, and just let them get some wins. You know what I mean? So you have some just matches to let them get some wins. You know, so you're just not beating everybody up. Of course, you can't put everybody in an angle, but just because you can't put everybody in an angle doesn't mean you can't put them on the TV and you put them against somebody and let them beat somebody convincingly, you know, instead of beating each other up all the time. You know, that also will help give them a little bit more credibility when they go into these secondary towns, you know. Down in one town, you got Raw in one town, and one town is doing bad because the talent that you got on the SmackDown crew is not as good as the talent, or hasn't been getting the push that the talent on the Raw crew has been getting. You know, you're really, all you're doing is losing money. You know, so use that TV time and bring back some enhancement talent and push those guys and get them over more, so that when you do decide that you want to put them in a program with some of the top guys, that way you don't have to keep putting Randy Orton against John Cena, you know, that scenario. I mean, because that's old. It's played out, you know, and I mean, y'all and stop being wishy-washy with Bray Wyatt. You know, he's probably got one of the most over gimmicks there, you know, but, you know, then they bring somebody back like a Chris Jericho and just let him beat him. You know, don't do that. Jericho's not going to stay around long enough. You know, that's about as bad as bringing Brock Lesnar back, making him the champion so he can stay at home and play with the belt and watch UFC on TV. Because that's what he's doing. He's sitting at home, rubbing the belt on his stomach, watching UFC on TV. And he really don't care about the belt. You know, because in his mind, in the end, what's going to happen is Brock Lesnar's going to leave WWE, and he's going to go back to UFC and get one more fight. But he's going to use the WWE lineage to get more money for that one fight.
Wouldn't you?
Of course I would. Of course I would. My point in saying that is, I think it's stupid in the management of WWE to bring him in and build him up to just leave like that. That was my point in saying that. Of course I would use. I mean, any kind of exposure that you can use and go and make more money and go to the next level. That's what you do. I mean, look at Oscar and Mo, Men on a Mission. They've used the exposure from this radio program to go off and do other things and make more money. So it's just a smart business thing, but just from a company standpoint, I just don't think that Brock Lesnar is bringing in the kind of money they're getting their return for the money that they're paying the guy. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I personally think that I don't mind the fact that they've sent that they let Brock kind of hang out at home, and the reason I don't mind it is because I think when they do bring him back, it's going to make it that much sweeter, right? You're going to build up this match for these number one contender spots that are going to be very intense. You're going to get these Paul Heyman promos that he's going to come out and cut, and he's going to build up this Brock Lesnar return. He's going to show up. He's going to annihilate some people. It's going to build it up for the anticipation, and it's not going to be that complete giveaway of what they've given us before over the last couple of years, where they just announce things that are happening and nope, they're coming back. There's no more surprise anymore. So I think this will at least give you some type of anticipation to build up and wait for. You have to wait for WrestleMania to see Brock Lesnar. You have to wait for a SummerSlam to see Brock Lesnar. He's not just going to be at every single TV and house show that there is from here to, the end of the world. So that's where I stand on. I kind of enjoy it if it's done right. I think they need to keep the title picture more in your mind, so they need to have more of maybe Paul Heyman or maybe video vignettes of Brock Lesnar using it, but I don't mind him being gone on that aspect of it, as long as they continue to do it right. But it's easy to fall off and do wrong, so it's a slippery slope they're on.
Well, we pointed this out on more than one occasion, more than one show. The titles just don't mean anything anymore like they used to. I mean, throughout wrestling history, the titles centered around every main event, every pay-per-view, the big money that was coming in and everything like that. Brock not defending the belt at a pay-per-view just don't seem to upset the fans to where they're not going to tune in or go buy a ticket because the belt's not being defended. The U.S. title, one of the reasons that's prevalent right now is because Rusev has it and he's got some heat having it. The IC title nobody cares about, and the tag title, forget about it. Almost non-existent. Years ago, the titles meant something. They were coveted by the boys in the back as a shoe to get it, and they were coveted by the fans to see those matches. Today, you just don't have that.
Not at all. You are 100% right. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. The belts don't mean crap, and that's clearly when CM Punk carried the belt for over a year. He didn't headline any of the pay-per-views, anything. It was still John Cena matches were the number one to go to. So that just right there kind of pushed it down. They were pushing the title matches mid-card to just before main event. So you can tell right there that they've lost the meaning.
Yeah, I mean, and but to me, throughout my history of actually watching wrestling from a fan perspective, that's what everybody aspired to. Everybody aspired to have a championship in some fashion because that's what wrestling was. That's what wrestling was all about. And when it was about that, it was more believable, even though everybody knew it was a work. But it was competition. Now it's just, I don't know what to call it. It ain't even competitive. I mean, when you had the competitive aspect of it, that's what kept it more interesting and kept the fans engaged. Now you're doing everything just to be doing something.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, with you. No, there's no argument there. It's just fact. They're not really giving you a product to sink your teeth into. They don't give you anything to even carry away to go, oh my God, I have to tune in next week. It just kind of ends, and you go, well, I guess I'll watch next week to see what next week's story is. There's not that long story. That's what I love about wrestling, or loved about wrestling.
Well, here's what the problem is. This is what they're doing. they are making you tune in every week. And you know why you're tuning in every week? You're tuning in every week now. You're tuning in every week now to see if this week's show is going to be worse than last week's show.
Yeah, that's about it. You try to get better.
I mean, yeah, and that's pathetic, man. That we're instead of tuning in because we love wrestling, we're tuning in to see. Man, I wonder if they're gonna get it right this week.
That's it.
And then they might get one piece of it right. You're thinking, okay, we're back on track. So we tune in again next week, thinking that they're gonna get it right, and then they screw that up.
Because we asked our fan analyst Drew Mimi, Raw, did they just throw this one together? And now we almost know the answer before we even ask the question. I like it. When I ask the question, she might say, no, this week they didn't just throw this one together. They hit it out the park. But me, when's the last time you saw Raw that they didn't just throw together?
I can't remember when last time I saw one.
The day after WrestleMania.
Okay.
Okay.
That was a long time ago.
Other than that, complete crap.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So, enough of that for now. Hey, boys, BS Wrestling Report. Tell us all about it, what you guys doing, what you guys got coming up, and who's this big name you guys are going to have?
So what are we doing? Basically, Brian and I just decided to start this podcast like 6-7 months ago, and I had the crazy idea for us to get some guests. I mean, you were on our show. We had an absolute blast. We had, Diamond Dallas Page. We have Mikey Whipwreck once a month. Justin LaBar, Chair Shot Reality last month. Garrett Bischoff, Wes Briscoe. We had Eric Bischoff about a month ago, and then in 2 or 3 weeks from now, Eric Bischoff is going to come right back on with us. So we're really appreciative of Eric, and all of our guests donating their time. Any of your listeners, if you want to interact with us, I please encourage you. Follow us on Twitter at BSW Report. Check out the Facebook.com/BS Wrestling Report. Brian, did I miss anything there?
Just the website, bswrestlingreport.com. That's just what we do. We got blogs and podcasts and interviews, and we tear apart pay-per-views, and we talk about wrestling, and we interview guys and talk about their career in wrestling and just get stories and have a good time just talking about wrestling and what we love and miss about wrestling and play fantasy booker, and that's what we do. Just sit here kind of like you guys are doing and just talk wrestling and what we wish they do, what we would do, and what we want them to do.
Yeah, well, maybe if enough of us come together and keep talking about it, maybe somebody will hear something and do something. Okay, Jimmy, putting you on the spot again, going back to the air mattress. You saw Triple H 2 weeks ago. Why you didn't look at him and say, why y'all just throwing Raw together every week? What happened? Did he intimidate you when you met him?
No, he didn't intimidate me, but I could ask you the same question. You were standing right there with me.
Well, he didn't have his arm around me. He had his arm around you.
Oof.
But you were standing right there.
Yeah, but you're a lot more bold. You're a lot more bolder than I am. You should have been like, okay, let me ask you a question. Why y'all just throwing Raw together, and what's happening with that bunny? You got to say something right then.
It just wasn't the time or place.
Yeah, fellas, she was right there with Triple H in Boston, too. This is the story. Right there with Triple H had his arm around her, was catching a boner, and she had the opportunity to ask Triple H, anything, change. She could have changed the world, and didn't even ask.
If I had that opportunity, I would straight up look him in the face and say, Paul, Hunter, whatever you want me to call you, why do you freaking hate these fans? Not everybody's friggin' old going out to buy a damn John Cena shirt. Why don't you give us what we want? Give us wrestling. Give us variety. Maybe the people want to see Randy Orton versus Brock Lesnar for the first time and not John Cena versus Brock Lesnar for the fourth time in 2 friggin' years. Maybe we want to see Dolph Ziggler get a push or Bray Wyatt not get friggin' cooled off after a white-hot run with, Cena at WrestleMania. Maybe we just make us happy, please, rather than one friggin' night a year. That's what I'd say.
All right, Mimi, in all seriousness, I'm going to tell you something. He is full of shit right there. He would have froze up just like any of the rest of us because we used to see Vince all the time. Nobody dared ask him anything.
Oh, yeah.
Give me the opportunity.
But those guys are larger than life when you see them, and the only thing you're going to do is stab her, and take your picture and get on about your business. You don't need to say that when you got in that position.
Give me the chance.
We didn't have Vince a damn thing.
That's funny.
I will step up to the plate.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you 3 words that we all used to use emphatically. And I don't care who you were, and those words were, yes, Mr. McMahon.
Well, we're talking Hunter and not Vince.
No, but you know what? I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to admit this out loud. There was some kind of presence. When Vince walked into a room and you was near him, to me, it was like a light was shining off the man. I mean, he's a billionaire. You standing there next to a man. How many of us can say that? You standing there interacting with a big. None of us are going to meet Steve Jobs in real life. We're not really going to have a conversation with Donald Trump. We're not going to see who's the guy with the glasses, Bill Gates. So for those of us, when you meet Vince McMahon, Vince is he's like touring in the Big Show, but in a philosophical kind of way. When you see him, and there's like this green money light that shines off of him, so you're kind of like intimidated when you stand next to him. I felt the same thing when I saw Triple H. Something changed about the man. It wasn't when I first met him when he first came in back in 1994 with that blue ridiculous robe, but he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley with that pale skin. There was something different about him. Not a Christ-like quality, but like something like beyond the rest of us. Like he was just bigger than us. Like I got $500 million now. I married the boss's daughter. I'm in charge. And I bitched up. I'm serious.
Well, I mean, here's how I approach people, and this is I don't care if it's my neighbor, my boss, anybody. I will talk to you like I've known you for 10 years. So if there's something genuinely on my mind that you can answer for me, I will ask you the same way I'd ask my Brian. I'd ask him the same way I'd ask him. I'm just a straight shooter, and I honestly feel that once I got past oh my gosh, this is a large man, he's very big, he's just taking what I say. I would hope he's taking it as constructive criticism and some feedback about his product, or consider it market research that I've done. That's kind of how I would look at that. So absolutely, I'd love to have that opportunity to ask Hunter, why does your product suck so bad?
Oh. Okay, so Mimi, did you my first question, did you want to ask him that question?
You get him on the line.
Huh?
Honestly, at that moment, I wasn't thinking that.
Oh, okay.
It was just, we were in the nice event. It was a big thing, so my mind wasn't even there at that moment.
Nearby a restaurant to deliver food.
Yeah.
Hello?
Okay. You said, I'm sorry, I didn't hear all that. You said you wasn't thinking that. What was you thinking?
No, I was just saying it was a nice event, and it was just my mind wasn't there at that moment.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, it was an interesting event, an interesting thing. I just thought, because I know that you can be outspoken. It's one of the things I love about you. But yeah, I was wondering if but according to Byron and Steve, if they ever run into Triple H, they're gonna ask him that. Well, guys, if you guys are gonna be someplace where you know he's at, let me know, because I would love to see that.
All right, yeah. Well, Steve says he'll do it. I know I'll panic and just ask for an autograph and a picture, and probably tremble for a handshake. But other than that, you never know, right? So there you go.
I got this. I will. Give me the chance. I will do it.
So, all right, man.
The reason why I say what I say is because you got a lot of fans that talk smack about Men on a Mission. You got a lot of them that say over the years they were the worst tag team ever. We're in that dumbass book, Wrestle Crap, and all that. And there are many people that say bad things about Men on a Mission that say good things. But I have yet to see one of you bastards come up to me at an autograph signing or Nelson Lee was living on Mo and be like, "Why did you guys suck so bad?" I mean, I'm waiting.
Yeah. Keep waiting, because the haters never come out. Haters don't show their face.
Yeah. They always hide behind the internet, hide behind some book, or hide behind a brick wall someplace and talk all that shit. And then when you see them in person, they're like, "Oh, you guys were the greatest." Yeah, okay, yes, my ass.
Yeah, there you go. So that's
anyway.
Yeah, haters gonna hate.
All right. So you guys. What do you guys got planned for the future? You guys got Eric Bischoff coming out. Now, you guys do like any appearances? You guys got anything coming up? Can fans actually meet you two? How long you guys been on the radio?
Oh, we just been doing this podcast thing for just about 7-8 months now, 6, 7, 8 months, somewhere in that realm. We've loved wrestling since we were both wee lads. I'm 31 now. Steve, I believe, is 33, something like that, and we've been watching wrestling since we were 2-3 years old, and just been in love with it. Used to that was it, man. And then we just sit there and talk about wrestling all the time. I said, why don't we start recording these and throw them on the internet? And just kind of came together. We both got some personalities, so we have fun and just doing the thing and interviewing people and just going on from there. So we talk with Mikey Whipwreck, ECW Triple Crown winner. He comes on monthly and tears apart pay-per-views with us, and we have a good time with him. Mikey's a blast. If you've never talked to Mikey or heard anything from Mikey Whipwreck, you gotta tune in and find some of our past shows with Mikey Whipwreck. You can find them on our website and our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BM Support. So you can check those out. And it's just that, man. We just do this. Steve lives in Florida. Myself, I'm up here I'm up in Michigan, just outside of Detroit. So we just do this over the internet and put it out there for the world to hear. So we don't have any kind of nothing coming up where we're doing live appearances yet. Maybe one day that can come together. But anytime you're in Tampa area, you can hit up Steve. If you're ever up in the Detroit area, I'd be more than happy to meet up and we'll hang out and talk wrestling and see you guys. Maybe somebody's at a show or you guys got an autograph thing going on or something like that. We can cross paths that way.
All right, guys, feel free to hang out. We got our next guest on. Now, as I mentioned at the top of the show, Boston Pro Wrestling Marathon, which Joe Bruin mentioned, is a 4-show, 3-day event, March 6th, 7th, and 8th, right outside Boston. Thank you to Renee Baghdad, Fan for Life Wrestling, bringing Mo and myself into this big giant event. But we've got the architects of the architects coming on the show tonight. Joe Bruin is doing New England Fan Fest 5, but Spencer Jawitz, or Jawitz, I'm asking how you pronounce his name, is the executive producer and creator of this Boston Pro Wrestling Marathon. Spencer's on the phone.
All right, Steve, what's up? Yo, Steve, you there?
Yeah, I turned the microphone off. What's up?
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, there you go. That was us sitting there kicking it with Oscar from Men on a Mission on his radio show there. So that was pretty dope.
Oh, I forgot we were still live. My bad.
No, that was it. So
I
yeah,
had to go get a steak out of the fridge.
Getting ready to do up some dinner there.
Second dinner, yeah. I'm moving tomorrow, and moving with my buddy Scott, and he had some chicken wings made, so I had to sit down and eat about 20 of them, and I'm sitting here like, damn, a steak and some Cholula hot sauce sounds really good. But anyway, Oscar, that was a lot of fun. I'll be honest, I don't know the name of the show that we just did.
No, I'm not sure either. It was just hanging with Oscar. I'm not sure, but it was a good time. They talked wrestling. They listened to us talk, so that was cool. Who the hell are we? We're just guys. We like wrestling. They were in wrestling, so it's cool. Mo was there.
And I think one of them called me an expert when I said take Raw to 2 hours. But
yeah, they said we've heard that from a lot of other experts as well. So, you watch wrestling enough, you talk about it on the internet, and you're an expert. So way to go, Steve. You're an expert. You can put that on your Twitter page.
No, I'll put it on our Twitter page. Also, and I dropped some jaws when they were talking about the bunny rabbit and Doink. I had to go back to the old school gobbledygooker.
The gook. Yeah, that was interesting there. So, well, that was a lot of fun. That's a little short little thing for us, getting out there and talking, and got some plugs out there. So we had a good time. Hope you guys had a good time. Check this out. Share it with your friends. Tell a friend. Go to the website, BS Wrestling Report, BS Wrestling Report on Facebook, Instagram. Check us out at BSW Report on the Twitter. And there you go. Hope you had fun, and we're out of here.
Peace!